I think it was 1966, Martin Luther King gave an interview to British television. Now, the reason that year is important is because it's 2 years after the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And by the way, a greater percentage of Republicans voted for the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 64 than did Democrats. Most people don't know that. And the Democrats were the party of the racists. They were the party of Jim Crow in the South. They were the party of George Wallace. They were the party of Ross Barnett. They were the party of these people that stood in front of school doors and said, segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. In any case, MLK is being interviewed by British television. And he says, you know, the changes in America over the last 2 years have surprised me. Based upon these kinds of changes, I believe there could be a black president in about 40 years' time, or maybe even less. He says, I believe there are black people who are qualified right now, but I believe in about 40 years' time there could be a black president.
Frankly, I have seen certain changes in the United States over the last 2 years that surprised me. I've seen levels of compliance with the Civil Rights Bill and changes that have been most surprising. So on the basis of this, I think we may be able to get a Negro president in less than 40 years. I would think that this could come in 25 years or less.
Think about that. Almost right on cue, Barack Obama got elected. And got elected with a higher percentage of the white vote than John Kerry did 4 years earlier. And by the way, in 2008, 2012, there were 700 counties that voted for Barack Obama both times. In 2016, when Donald Trump ran, 200 of them switched to Donald Trump. Now, when were they bitten by the racist radioactive spider? 2008, they were not racist. 2012, they were not racist, but 200 of them switched to Donald Trump. And so all of a sudden, this became, as Van Jones said on CNN, white lash. Really?
This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president in part.
Let me get back to MLK. The reason this is relevant is because he didn't say, you know, in about 40 years' time, there are going to be CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. And there have been several. He didn't say in 40 years' time there's going to be a president of the American Bar Association, and there has been. He didn't say in 40 years' time there's going to be a president of the American Medical Association, and there has been. He didn't say in about 40 years' time there's going to be a governor of one of the states of the Confederacy, and there has been. He didn't say in about 40 years' time roughly 10% of the House of Representatives is going to be black, and it is. He said president. Why? Because once you hit that pinnacle, it's done. Everything else is anticlimactic. If Americans, in the privacy of their own voting booth or the privacy of their kitchen table when they're filling out their absentee ballot, votes for a black person, they don't have to. They can practice their own racism privately. And the first time Gallup ever asked America if they'd vote for a black president was in the 50s, and the majority of them said no. Now, if you look at the polls, the percentage of people that say they would never vote for a black person is in the low single digits. That's right in what I call the Elvis factor. In 2002, there was a Fox opinion poll, and people were asked if Elvis is still alive. 8% said he's still alive, and 6% said if you send him a letter, he will get it. So when I say low digits, you can't do a whole lot more than that. Bottom line is, racism has never been a less significant problem. The real problem is the failure to take advantage of available opportunities. I've talked about this before. 1997, Time, CNN did a poll of black teenagers and white teenagers. And they asked them both, is racism a major problem in America? And not too surprisingly, both of them said yes. But then there was a follow-up question asked of the black teens. Is racism a big problem, a small problem, or no problem in your own daily life? 89% said it is a small problem or no problem in my own daily life. In fact, more black teenagers than white teenagers said failure to take advantage of available opportunities is a bigger problem than racism. I repeat, more black teens than white teens said failure to take advantage of available opportunities is a bigger problem than racism. Two of my mentors are economists Walter Williams and Thomas Sowell. And Walter Williams once told me that you're not responsible for your conditions, but you have a moral obligation, a duty to play the cards to the best of your ability. That is on you. And Tom Sowell told me that the route to success is hard work, self-investment, and sacrifice. If there's another route, I haven't seen it. Failure to take advantage of available opportunities is a bigger problem than racism. Don't be deluded. It is easy to be angry, particularly if you grew up with a broken family, particularly if you grew up in poverty and you have a bunch of people, so-called leaders, telling you that your circumstances are because somebody has oppressed you. And by the way, most of these people that tell you that, look at them and ask yourself, how did they become leaders? They worked hard. They went to college, got an education. Look how they are living. Look how Jesse Jackson is living. Man's a multimillionaire. Look how Al Sharpton is living. The man is a multimillionaire. Look how these people that's on CNN and MSNBC are living. They're all multimillionaires. They all went to school. They all succeeded in a very competitive business, television media. It is hard to get a gig in television. It's hard to get your own show. These people have their own shows or they're contributors, and here they are telling you that other people are holding you back when in fact what they did was the very opposite of what they're telling you to do. What they did was engage in hard work and sacrifice, studying, self-investment, taking risks, being competitive. And what they're telling you is you're oppressed. You're a tool of the man. You're being subjugated by white supremacy. It is a con. Don't fall for it. I'm Larry Elder, and this has been the Larry Elder Show for Epoch Times. I will see you next time.